You signed 5 clients specifically from cold email in the past 30 days. So walk us through how that happened and like what kind of clients are these? And yeah, how'd you get them to close on your services? What's going on, guys? Andre Hagel Jr. here, back with another case study interview here with my man Alexan. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, brother? All good, all good. How about you?
I'm doing great, bro. I'm really excited to dive in and learn more about you and your business, and most importantly, the results and the success you've been having. We were talking a little bit off camera here, but you've been blowing up the Wins channel and Client Ascension, talking about how you're signing clients left and right from cold email. And again, I'll say it again. I've said it on a lot of the recent interviews, but it's a shame that people are writing off cold email as a lead generation strategy that's all of a sudden dead when it's not. And so I appreciate you being willing to spend the time with us here today to talk about the recent results that you're seeing here in July 2024 with cold email. I think I saw you signed 5 clients specifically from cold email in the last 30 days. So I want to talk all about that with you today.
Exactly, exactly. Perfect. Happy to share everything.
Awesome, brother. So tell us a little bit more about who you are and what kind of business you run.
Yeah, so my name's Alexan. I'm in Cyprus right now, currently live in London. I'm in uni. I'm running a business on the side, a cold email lead gen agency, done for you service. We essentially work with any type of B2B company or an agency. We don't have a specific niche, and we just essentially do all things cold email related. We set up the whole infrastructure, actually launch the campaigns, manage inboxes, and book these companies' calls. So it's just an end-to-end cold email process.
That's awesome, bro. And I love getting on interviews with guys like you who use cold email to get clients and then they help their clients get clients through cold email, right? It's kind of like this layered thing that is just really cool because you do what you say you're going to do for your clients yourself. That's how you get business, which is a testament to the services that you're offering being, valuable in the first place and showing that they actually work. So that's really cool to me. And I think you were telling me a little bit off camera, like you're new to the whole cold email game. And that's how most people are coming into it. Like I was new to cold email 3 or 4 years ago. And right as soon as I learned about it, I spent hours learning everything there was to learn, like within the first couple of days, and then immediately started implementing and testing for myself and my businesses. And so, what was that experience like learning about cold email? Like, how'd you hear about it? How'd you get started?
Yeah, so like I definitely had an idea as to what it was because I knew what cold calling was, so I could sort of guess what it was. And then I think the fact that I learned all this in Client Ascension just made the whole process a lot more smooth because of the actual modules that we have in Kajabi. So like the fact that I had everything laid out step by step, I don't know if I would have been able to actually learn everything to the extent that I did if I didn't have those modules guiding me step by step. So I think that really helped. And it just made it less, it wasn't so overwhelming, you know? So it was just a really smooth process. And the fact that I had all the coaches as well, just like answering all my questions immediately, just helped me never have any, or let's say if I did have any uncertainties, they were solved like right away. So the whole process was just so smooth.
That's awesome to hear, bro. And what about like the community aspect? Because obviously you're in a community with hundreds of business owners that are also going through those same lessons in Kajabi and learning about cold email and then going out and implementing cold email on their own so you can learn from just their mistakes or even their success. What has that experience been like in the community?
Yeah, it's been amazing because you have so many other people, so many other business owners who are on the same journey as you. Some of them are more ahead, ahead of you in the journey. Some of them are, I don't know, might be behind you. But the fact that you're all on the same path, it really helps. And I think one of the things that really led to these results that I was able to achieve was like I was a bit of a ghost within the program for like at the beginning. And the minute I started engaging more, reaching out to people, I think I like almost messaged every single person within the program to like actually meet these people, see what they do. And they've all been able to help me so much, not only with cold email, with social media, with everything. I've been able to help them as well. And that just 10x my growth within the program. So like the community aspect was something that I just didn't take too seriously at the beginning. And then once I did, it was just the results were insane.
Dude, that's awesome. It's crazy how easily someone can pick up a new skill set or lead generation strategy with just the right tools and access to information, and also just the willingness to go all in and learn about it and implement it and push through the early on failures and roadblocks. So I'm happy to hear that you're able to get to that point. And you mentioned again, or I mentioned at the start of the interview, you signed 5 clients specifically from cold email in the past 30 days. So walk us through how that happened and like what kind of clients are these? And yeah, how'd you get them to close on your services?
Yeah, so like I think to begin with, like I know everything that's being said about cold email now, and like I don't know, the majority of people think that it's dead, or I don't know what else they're saying. I think the most important thing is that I stuck to the basics. I did a lot of testing. The fact that I didn't panic, and the fact that I just had, I had this community around me, had these coaches. I just kept it simple, split my inboxes. I just did everything that I had to do, included my spin tags, just followed my warm up procedures, made my scripts relevant, made my lead lists extremely accurate. And it was just doing everything that you always had to do. I just did that well. And I think that I didn't like come up with some magic potion or anything. I literally just did what all the coaches told me to do. And like I spoke with Matt a lot, with Nick, like with all the coaches, like whatever they told me to do, I just did it. That was it. Now, what clients we signed, different types of clients, marketing agencies, software development. Another software development company, another marketing agency. So it was mostly these types of businesses because that's just what the lead list was for the specific campaign. So, yeah.
Yeah. Dude, that's so awesome. Just saying how you showed up to the calls with the guys that have been doing it for a very long time. You listened to what they were telling you to do, and you did it the right way, right? You didn't just rush through and implement it and not really focus on quality. And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong is they kind of see something surface level, they try it really quickly without much effort, and then it doesn't work, and they're writing it off as like, hey, this thing just doesn't work. Period. It's definitely harmful to the rest of the market that's out there wanting to find a lead generation strategy that'll work for them. And they skip over cold email because they saw someone talk badly about it when that person really just didn't give it their all and didn't have access to the best tools and information like we do here in Client Ascension and with using tools like ListKit. What about like your experience using? I'm sure you use Smart Lead at this point. You might use ListKit to build your leads list. Like, what's your tech stack? What have you seen the best results with?
Honestly, I just kept it extremely simple. Just been using ListKit for my lead lists, been using Smart Lead to send out the actual emails. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Literally just these two tools, and that's basically it. Like it's just not complicated. Like that's
Yeah,
it.
I love your perspective on like it's not complicated at all. Like we've laid out the playbook, we've given you the exact tools to go sign up for and use. Because when I first started with cold email, like I had to use Apollo, Million Verifier, a personalization tool, Google spreadsheets, a CSV converter, put it into the leads like the lead sending tool. It was a pain in the neck. And so to scale our own campaigns, let alone our clients' cold email campaigns, was not simple and straightforward like it is now with ListKit
Yeah.
and Smartlead. You could literally launch a cold email campaign in 5 to 10 minutes with both those tools if you have the scripts ready to go. So that's the cool thing with ListKit. It's like you probably had no experience using Apollo and didn't have to go through the rigorous, process of building leads lists and verifying leads and getting rid of the non-verifieds. And so ListKit was probably a breeze, right? You go in there, you do your search and you have your leads ready to go. And probably very effective for your agency as well, because you have multiple clients that you have to build leads lists for. So well, yeah, I guess what's your experience been with ListKit and building multiple leads lists at a time with a tool like that?
Yeah, so I think that just going back to what we said previously, like a lot of people who say like cold email is dead and whatever, they just don't do the basics properly. And you asked me this before as well, like how I close those clients. A lot of them were already using cold email. And when I asked them like what their experience was, they were just doing all the basics wrong. Like it's not that the lead list was inaccurate, their scripts weren't good, they weren't relevant, and whatever. So like once again, it just goes back to the basics. But when it comes to ListKit, yeah, it's been so good. Like I had an onboarding call as well. I've actually booked a couple of calls with the ListKit team. They actually helped me with a couple of my lead lists because obviously I didn't have experience at first. So I didn't know. I was using just the predefined filters. They actually helped me to make it even more accurate and how I can adjust it to what exactly like the exact companies and job titles, people that I want to target. So it's just been, once again, it's just been so smooth. The team has been on it. Any question I had, I either booked a call, either just used the chat, and someone responded in like 10 minutes. So
Yeah.
it's just yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, it's all about support. I think a lot of people get stuck and then they don't really know where to turn to. And so just having the community and the support and access to calls, which anyone that signs up for ListKit gets access to the one-on-one onboarding calls with our team, just like you mentioned there. So it's a no-brainer just to sign up and at least learn how to use a tool like ListKit the right way. I think a lot of people spend money on tools and then don't know how to use them, which is a big part of the problem. And so getting access again to the tools, but also the information, like I've been saying throughout this interview, is so important. So that's amazing, bro. Again, I love how you just come back to the simplicity of everything and just being able to turn to different team members and calls that we offer to work through different strategies that you can implement. The other thing that I'm super excited about, which you'll probably be experiencing soon and testing soon, is the intent data feature that we just launched at ListKit. I think it's just going to help again give you another competitive advantage over the rest of the marketplace by actually being able to know who's interested in the services you sell. It just makes the messaging and the scripting so much more relevant, and you'll avoid getting spam complaints when you're reaching out to people that are just not at all interested in what it is you're selling. And so I'm excited to hear about the results that come from that. The other thing I want to ask you about though is like, okay, so you do cold email, you send out a bunch of emails, that's easy. You get someone on the phone. Like, what's been your experience on the sales side, right? Because there's all these marketing channels that you can schedule calls from. I've had calls with people from like Facebook ads that had no idea what they booked a call for, or no idea about our company and what we did. And they were so out of our ICP and target market that it was laughable. So what has your experience been with like the quality of calls that come through cold email and just like the sales process overall?
Yeah, so I think the quality of the sales call always depends on the type of people you're targeting. Like you also determine the quality of the sales call. But I think it's been really good. I'm lucky because my business partner he's in sales, so he really helped me with the script as well. That's been really good. But the thing is, which is another thing that people do with cold email that really affects their results negatively, is that they're just they're ghosts on social media. They're not on social media. They're not on LinkedIn. They don't have a good website. So like the reason why these calls were good is because people like I do have a website. I do have my landing page. I've got a VSL on it. I'm on Twitter. I'm on LinkedIn. So like these people, like what's the first thing you do when you receive a cold email? You like check on all social media platforms on the internet, like where is this guy? What does he do exactly? So the fact that they could find me everywhere and see exactly what I do just made it a lot easier because they knew exactly what I was doing, what I was selling. I'm not just this ghost with no profile picture who,
Yeah.
just selling something. So yeah, it's been really good. And they knew exactly what I was doing. I think it was like pretty qualified. I never had a really tough time. And all these people, cold email could be useful for their businesses. This goes back to the lead list. Like these are targeted prospects. So like, yeah, it's been good.
I'm happy to hear that, bro. I'm happy to hear that. And yeah, like going on the sales calls, knowing who you're speaking to and that they're in your ICP and they know what it is you offer and the value of it. And then being able to do their due diligence and check your website and see that your website has a VSL and it's updated, it's got case studies, and you have posts going out on all your social media profiles showing and displaying your expertise in this exact service offering that they're interested in learning more about. Like, it's really hard to compete with someone like you who has all that going for them. So props to you for putting that all together in such a short period of time, like I pointed out. And so that's what I love about cold email is someone can pick it up and implement it and see and reap from the rewards and the benefits very quickly compared to other marketing channels. It's very low barrier to entry. Like you don't need a massive budget like you might need to do a successful paid ads campaign. And so I really want to push more and more people to try cold email as a method to grow their business. One of the questions I have, last question I have for you really is just like when people don't get results from cold email, like what would be your advice to them, right? Because you've probably even had this at your agency where someone gets on a phone call with you and they're like, yeah, well, I've tried this before and it didn't work. Like, why is it going to work this time around? Like, why do you think like it would work now for someone that has tried it before and it didn't work? Is it because of again, for me, I think it's always access to information and tools. if you have access to the right information, support, education, trainings, SOPs, and then the right tools to actually carry all that out, then it'll work. If not, it probably won't, just like with anything else. But what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I mean, it's like obviously you're gonna stumble upon a lot of problems throughout the way. Like you're not always gonna get these results. So the fact that I had a lot of people to turn to like straight away, and I couldn't always identify what the issue was. So the fact that I had people like telling me, send me a screenshot of your stats, and I can like sort of tell you if it's deliverability, maybe it's not deliverability, it might be the script. Show me your script. Show me the lead list. Who are you targeting? Oh, your script isn't relevant for these types of people. So like the fact that I had everyone around me to actually help me, I think that was actually the most important thing. So I agree with you 100%. Like access to information, access to tools, especially with like what's going on now with cold email, you have to sort of stay ahead. You need to know what's going on and how to adjust to all the changes. And I think that's where most people sort of fall behind because they're just not testing enough. And that also just goes back to the fact that they don't have the community around them. They might not have the coaches, the experts, or whatever to tell them, this is what you should try now, try test this, and so on. So I agree with you 110%.
Awesome, bro. And just for the audience to give me even more value before we hop off here, like what are some things you look at in a cold email campaign to tell whether or not it's on the right track?
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely going to look at bounce rates for deliverability. We ideally, like just like Matt says, just like all the coaches say, we try to keep our bounce rates below sort of 3 to 4%. And instead of like trying to become the ultra tech guy, just sort of burn it and buy a new one. Instead of sort of trying to, a lot of people that's what I was trying to do as well. Like I didn't want to spend an extra $10, $15 to go and just buy a new domain, set it up again, just launch it fresh. And you try to sort of find ways to convince yourself that this domain is still fine, the email account is fine. So that's the first thing. And then obviously we just track, we have our numbers for like reply rates, positive reply rates, and that's just basically it. You need volumes to be able to actually to gather a good enough sample size. But then it's just, once again, the basics. Just like look at the reply rates, look at your bounce rates. If you're using Smart Lead, everything is literally right there in front of you for you to analyze. And then from there onwards, once again, it's just testing. So
Yeah, makes sense. Super helpful. And I appreciate you sharing that advice and strategy for people out there maybe already doing cold email and wanting to continue to just push to get results on their own. So really, really helpful. It's great to have you in the community. I see you posting wins all the time. And I think what makes a community even more valuable is having people like you in there who are constantly out there every single day pushing to just improve the results in your campaigns. And not just that, but like then go back into the community and share it with others. And that's something I really appreciate about guys like you is you understand like this is a huge opportunity for a lot of people and it's not just something to keep to yourself. And so you're really out there in communities and also with your clients just helping them get the best results possible through cold email. And so we need more guys like you that are not saying or out there panicking saying cold email is dead, but instead putting solutions in place and offering people ways to get better results than they're getting now. So thank you for that. And as a last question, brother, again, thank you for your time. It's been great. You mentioned a couple of things like client attention and ListKit, which again, at this point, like our audience is familiar with what we have available to help them with. So links are always in the video descriptions and whatnot. If you have any questions, just leave a comment. I always monitor the comments and respond back to you guys personally. But last thing, Alexan, is where can our audience find you and follow you online to learn more about what you're working on and maybe want to work with you or just get in touch and ask even some more questions?
yeah, so you can definitely find me on Twitter. My username is at Alexan6Z. On LinkedIn as well, Alexan Zartarian. I've got my website, sparkleadgo.com. That's also, you'll find that on my Twitter and my LinkedIn. So that's pretty much it.
That's awesome, bro. Thank you again so much for spending the time with us here today. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Cold email is a lead gen strategy that we've been preaching on this channel for as long as we've been in business for the last 3 or 4 years. And we'll continue pushing and showing you guys that results are possible, even though things change. As in any other industry, there's still people out there getting results and even better results than before. Again, it all comes down to access to the right information and the right tools. And so again, check out Client Ascension for the information in the group in the community, and then check out ListKit for the tools and some other things that we mentioned as well, and Alexan's agency as well if you want hands-on support and agency services that have to do with cold email specifically. So that's all we have for you today. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.